The Treaty of Aigun was an 1858 unequal treaty between the Russian Empire and the Empire of the Qing Dynasty, the Manchu rulers of China, that established much of the modern border between the Russian Far East and Manchuria, which is now known as Northeast China. It reversed the Treaty of Nerchinsk by transferring the land between the Stanovoy Mountains and the Amur River from China to the Russian Empire. Russia received over 600,000 square kilometers from China. Background: since the 18th century, Russia had desired to become a naval power in the Pacific. It did so by establishing naval outposts near the River Amur watershed, encouraging Russians to go there and settle, and slowly developing a strong military presence in the region. China never governed the region effectively or conducted territorial surveys, and these Russian advances went unnoticed. From 1850 to 1864, China was heavily fighting the Taiping Rebellion, and Governor-General of the Far East Nikolai Muraviv camped tens of thousands of troops on the borders of Mongolia and Manchuria, preparing to make legal Russian de facto control over the Amur from past settlement. Muraviv seized the opportunity when it was clear that China was losing the Second Opium War and threatened China with a war on a second front. The Qing Dynasty agreed to enter negotiations with Russia, signing. The Russian representative Nikolai Muraviv and the Qing representative Yishin, both military governors of the area, signed the treaty on May 28, 1858, in the town of Aigun. Effects: the resulting treaty established a border between the Russian and Chinese empires along the Amur River. The Amur, Sungari, and Ushuri rivers were to be open exclusively to both Chinese and Russian ships. The territory bounded on the west by the Ushuri, on the north by the Amur, and on the east and south by the Sea of Japan was to be jointly administered by Russia and China, a condominium arrangement similar to that which the British and Americans had agreed upon for the Oregon Territory in the Treaty of 1818. The inhabitants along the Amur, Sungari, and Ushuri rivers were to be allowed to trade with each other. The Russians would retain Russian and Manchu copies of the text, and the Chinese would retain Manchu and Mongolian copies of the text. All restrictions on trade to be lifted along the border.